My name is Autumn, and I've always felt there's more to this world than what we can see. Let me tell you about the night I learned that lesson firsthand. Years ago, I lived in Longview. My boyfriend and I were young and curious about the paranormal. One day at his grandparents' house with friends, we decided to use a Ouija board app on my phone. Just for fun, we connected with a few spirits. One named Peggy claimed she drowned in a swamp. Creepily enough, there was a swamp right behind the house. Our friend got scared, so we stopped. When we tried again, a different spirit came through. It wouldn't give a name. Trying to lighten the mood, we asked, "Do you like us?" The planchette moved to yes. Right then, my phone screen flickered. We closed the app quickly. That night, I was too scared to be alone. I asked my grandmother if I could stay over at my boyfriend's grandparents' house. She agreed. To calm down, we watched videos and talked. Later, he went to the bathroom. I was on the top bunk, eyes closed, relaxed, almost asleep. Then I felt something. A cold hand gently moved hair from my face. A soft voice whispered, "Are you okay, baby?" Half asleep, I answered, "Yeah, why?" The cold hand rested on my cheek. Then the voice asked, "Will you carry my baby?" Still thinking it was my boyfriend, I mumbled, "Maybe when we're older." But the voice came again, deeper and distorted, repeating, "Will you carry my baby?" Fear hit me. I yelled for him to stop. Then I heard my boyfriend, as real voice from the doorway. "Who are you talking to?" I opened my eyes. He was standing there, just back from the bathroom. He hadn't touched me. He hadn't spoken. Something else had. We ran to the living room and stayed awake until morning. I later learned about entities that drain energy. That night, I felt like I was losing my mind. I used to think things like this only existed in stories. Now I know they can be terrifyingly real. That experience really changed how I listened to stories. It reminded me of one my grandmother used to tell me, a story that has always stuck with me for its strange, sad beauty. It happened in Goa, India, about 10 years before the partition, when she was just a little girl named Alice. Every Sunday after church, Alice and her friends would play in the garden. Her closest friend was a quiet, distant orphan girl named Ella. Ella was different. She often said she could see people that no one else could. One Sunday, Ella suddenly stopped playing. She said she heard someone calling her name. She walked toward a large palm tree, and beneath it sat a woman. Ella described her as breathtakingly beautiful, dressed in a soft, glowing white dress and smelling faintly of jasmine. From that day on, Ella would spend her Sundays with this woman. She made Alice promise not to tell anyone. Over time, Ella began to change. She became happier, more radiant, and deeply involved in church activities. Some of the other girls grew jealous of this newfound joy, but Ella just smiled at them. When Alice finally asked what they talked about, Ella's answer was chilling. "Alice, remember how I can see people others can't? She's one of them. She told me I was given a gift by God, but she also told me something sad, that I won't live very long. That's why I have to enjoy every moment of life. She told me to forgive the others, that resentment only poisons the heart. And whenever she hugs me, it feels so warm, like being held by my own mother." For years, Ella shared these lessons she learned. Alice never fully believed it, not until the war began. Ella passed away, just as the woman had foretold. My grandmother's family fled to Pakistan, but she never forgot Ella. She never knew if the woman was real, or just the imagination of a lonely, gifted child. But one thing was certain, that mysterious woman, real or not, changed Ella's life. Thanks for listening. If you have a story like this, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Stories like these remind us that danger doesn't always come from the spirit world. Sometimes it wears a very human face. When my mom was just 7 years old, She and my grandmother were walking home through the forest after picking mushrooms. They bumped into a man on the trail and continued on. But then he appeared again, following them. "Follow me," he insisted. "I know a place with many more mushrooms." My grandmother felt a chill. She refused and grabbed my mom's hand. They started to run, and he ran after them. They didn't stop until they burst out of the trees. 3 days later, they returned to a different part of the forest, only to find it swarming with police. A young woman had been brutally murdered. When an officer showed my grandmother a photo of the main suspect, she froze. It was him, the man from the trail. She testified in court. He was found guilty and sentenced to life. Later, they learned he had confessed to killing 2 other women. For a while, they felt safe. But 4 years later, news broke of a prison break. 7 inmates had escaped, including him. They never went back to that forest. To this day, they still think about it and wonder what could have happened if they had followed him. These experiences have taught me that reality is far stranger and more fragile than we give it credit for. If you want to join our community of seekers and believers, please take a moment to subscribe.